Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Dark Vega. It's been a really long time since I made a video like this in this fashion. Recently, I've been posting a lot of like Battlefield 1 gameplays on my channel, and yeah, finally, kind of maybe try to start adding some more videos, and hopefully, you guys will enjoy them. Recently, I've been doing a lot of Battlefield 1 beta on PlayStation 4, and although I'd love to play it on PC, my rig is just probably not good enough to be able to run it. But anyway, I thought I'd make just an impression video about it after many hours of playing it, the beta. I've been really, ultimately, I've been really enjoying it. I guess starting off with like gameplay and things like that. Some funny things that I've been noticing is that it's still like ultimately it's a dice game, so you're gonna run into a lot of glitchy little weird things that'll just make you kind of raise your eyebrow, And one thing in particular, one thing that I've noticed is if you're running around, and this happened in Battlefield 4, where like if you're running around just like as infantry, and for some reason maybe your character will run over a little like bump or something like in the terrain, and like I don't know what happens, like maybe an invisible like spear just like pierces you in the gut or something, but you'll just fall over and die. Things like that. Also, like when planes crash, like they'll crash and then they'll just start spinning like a top. Just graphical issues like that, like it's still present, and of course, like it's in beta form, so it's most likely like maybe a month or so old, or a couple months old, like in terms of it's not quite ready yet, obviously. Anyway, so things like that. Other than that, the game looks beautiful graphically. It's the best looking Battlefield game yet. And let's see, in terms of like gameplay, like I feel like it's a lot more smoother than Battlefield 4. I went back and I tried to compare the two, and like it feels smooth. It feels really smooth, like in Battlefield 1. The movement and the fluidity of things is really nice. One thing though that I've noticed is that also your character, if you're trying to get up on things, sometimes you'll just fall back down. Like you'll try to vault over, terrain that's higher than you, and you'll pull yourself up, but then like you'll drop back down like automatically. Like you can't. They still have that little issue where like you can't vault over certain terrains still. So that's something they're gonna have to fix. But anyway, as for that, like the guns and stuff like that's in the game is really like they're really solid and they feel really good. I've been leaning a lot more toward like support, like the support weapons, like the Lewis gun, and there's other kind of light machine guns in that class, which is, I don't know, they're just really satisfying to use for me right now. The handguns, like the pistols and things like that, the secondaries feel really good as well. And each class feels like at least diverse enough where like, you can tell the difference between each class, like when you're out on the battlefield, like what people have and things like that. Anyway, they all feel really good. Sniping too feels really satisfying. Like when I don't know, it's really direct. It's a lot. There's a lot less. What is it like? I don't know what they call that. Like bullet drag or something like that. Like in the game, like BF4 like has that big time where you kind of have to lob the bullet in order to hit people sometimes with it, and you still have to do that in this game, but it's a lot less apparent. There's a lot less bullet drag in this one. I don't know if you call it that. I'll patent it maybe. But anyway, let's see. the vehicles, they all feel really good. The tanks, I've been doing a lot of like tank like things too, and they feel ultimately different than BF4's does. I know I'm comparing a lot to BF4, but it just feels really satisfying, like being in the vehicles in this game so far. You know, since in the beta you can only go on that one desert map, so Sinai Desert or something they call it, and the tanks feel good. The planes they take getting used to, but there's no more like lock-on BS where like you could lock on and, you know, take things out pretty simply. This is like, it's going back to more like kind of these old school like shooter routes. Like it almost feels like an old, it's almost, you know, maybe you guys would call me out like this is blasphemy to even compare this, but even Far Cry, like Far Cry 2 or like even Far Cry 1, like, I don't know, it feels really gritty. It feels old schooly, kind of like that. And I don't know, I think that's a good thing. Like, you know, all these shooters right now, like COD and Destiny and Halo and everything like that, you know, they've all gone this futuristic approach, and I just like that. You know, DICE and EA went back to kind of these more simplistic routes. No extra BS, a lot, you know. It's just straight up skill, which is fun. You know, I think that's really fun. No more, you know, not tons of skills and things like that, you know, where it's just a plethora of these futuristic gadgets and shit like that, but just real old school gritty gunplay and vehicle play. So anyway, getting that out of the way. Sound and music. And there's not much music in the game, but I mean sound wise, like the guns feel all authentic. Like they have a real organic feel to them when like you shoot the guns. Like they feel like, you know, and it's really satisfying when you hit somebody with it because it really feels like you're hitting them. Yeah, so that's pretty much, that's kind of all I can think of. I've been really enjoying it. Ultimately, is the game fun? Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. The destruction in the game too is really cool. Like you can make like craters, like even indentations in the map with explosives and things like that, and then you can actually like jump into those craters to use them as cover. If there's one thing that I could say about the desert map, it's huge. I mean, that's good. I mean, it's cool. There's definitely some really satisfying like moments in the map. Maybe they could, I don't know. Sometimes it's almost too big, and like maybe the E flag's like way out. Like not a lot of people go out that way, you know. There's not much reason for you to go out that way. You could cap I guess you could go out there and cap the territory out there, but in conquest mode, but ultimately it's not like a big deal to go out that way. And maybe there needs to be just a little more cover, like maybe out in the desert. I don't know, some trees and rocks and stuff like that. I mean, there's rocks in the desert, right? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I like the level design. Ultimately, it's pretty good so far, at least in this desert map. There's maybe a few changes that I would maybe make. Also, too, I've been seeing a lot of things on the internet about like whether or not they should keep that old conquest mode, like ticket burning thing that they've always had in the Battlefield games, or they should do it with this new mode. I can see the pros and cons on both. I kind of lean more toward the old style of ticket bleeding thing of the old. Maybe that's just because I've been playing, you know, I've played a lot of Battlefield 4, but yeah, it's ultimately I like the game a lot. I like the beta a lot, and I'm really excited for this new for the whole full release, because I'm really into like the World War I like setting of it all. I think it's really cool that they're bringing it back, you know, bringing it back in time instead of jumping forward, you know, 100 years and ooh, look at all our futuristic shit. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.